Right up and get lost in the Funhouse with Greg Bowe and Blondie.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Lost in the Funhouse with Greg Bowe.
And Blondie.
And a scarecrow.
Well, Blondie, it's a special treat here today in the Funhouse for animal lovers. Animals are great.
Animals and critters and reptiles. Oh,
great.
my.
Animals are great.
Hey, you stole that?
I know, I stole that from Greg Gutfeld. but it works. So
Yeah.
you want to tell everybody what we have in store, since you are, well, we're all animal lovers here, but I think Blondie outpaces us.
Speaking of pets or animals, but I was the only one at the interview. We did the interview with Eastern Exotics, and
Yes.
they brought some of their pets with them, and I was the only one who would get up there and check them out.
Yeah, what did they
All kind of
bring?
stuff.
Oh, yeah, they had their big snake, was Ka, I think,
Ka.
13-foot long python.
Wow.
And
And guys, I'm scared to death of snakes.
Beautiful.
Anybody who's listening to the podcast knows
He
that.
really
but-
is. And
Beautiful snake.
Well, I'm scared to death of snakes, but
I think you've made a big mistake by saying that.
Yeah, I know.
On the internet, you really want to rat out your own fears on the internet in this day and age?
Does anybody want to really risk trying to scare me? Yeah, I mean, think about that for a minute.
If anybody knows you,
But
they know that answer is a hard no.
but Brett won't even try it. Well, sometimes he does. But here's
That's because Brett's intelligent.
well, yes, that he is.
Love you, Brett. Thanks for everything you're doing.
But the thing about it is, I'm not a big snake fan, but I've got to say that this snake he has is just flat out beautiful. It's a beautiful snake.
Really? Even
Yeah.
for you?
Even for me.
That's
Even
saying
for
something,
me,
because
yeah.
I know your fear, man.
Yeah, I mean, those things just creep me out. And it still creeps me out to look at it, but it is a beautiful animal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he had like
I appreciate that you can appreciate beauty in something that you find utterly terrifying. See, I can't do that.
I have to do it every day. Every day.
Oh my God.
When you look in the mirror?
Yes. Yes. The amount of mirrors I break and go through, I mean, it's just...
Yeah, how many years of bad luck are you up to now?
Oh, they don't even count it anymore. we're into decades of despair.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, yeah,
But-
we're getting Blondie way off track.
I know,
She sits
yeah.
over and shakes her head and
I
goes,
was
"Oh
just
my
like-
God, I'm
Yeah.
not working. I work with some professionals."
It's her passive-aggressive way of saying, shut up.
Yeah,
It's like
pretty
start
much.
throwing things.
You got to
at
sit
y'all.
over tapping her foot and looking at us like, "I'm going to
Just-
murder you."
Yeah, trying to
both."
throw stuff in here. Everything's expensive,
Yeah.
except Greg Bowe.
Hey,
No, we pick on each other. We're all friends.
yeah.
we love each other.
But yeah, he had the one big snake, the python, and then he had two smaller snakes. He had a
Those
tarantula.
are the ones that scared me.
Yeah, don't
the
say
two
that.
Smaller
Yeah.
snakes.
And then
Oh,
he
yeah.
had,
We had
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
snakes.
Oh yeah, two little
yeah,
small
two little
snakes,
small
yeah.
snakes.
How'd they work for you?
They were
Not well.
babies. They were just
Oh, well.
babies.
It's touch and go.
And then he had the turtle.
Yeah, see, look, the turtle go around and walk around on the grass and
That's
stuff.
cute.
Yeah.
It was a big turtle.
Was
and,
it?
he said, and it was a
Afternoon,
baby
walk
too.
halfway across
It was
the
a baby, really.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was probably only like about a foot across, or like so. And it was one of those big. I guess they're like box.
Yeah, the
Turtles
box
or
of tortoises.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he said that it was gonna get like really huge.
Remember,
And,
I always loved finding turtles as a child. You know, like you find it out in the woods or
Yeah.
something. You're like, oh, I want it as a pet.
Oh, I know.
and the poor turtles
And
like
then
leave
it
me
bites you, and
alone."
you're like, I
Me
don't
and
want
my-
you anymore.
Me and my little brother had up to like 18 at one time.
18,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Well, my parents had an atrium in the middle of the house, and
What'd you feed them?
lettuce and
Really?
cantaloupe. Yeah,
Cool. I never. Looking back on it, I'm like, what did I feed
They
that
love
turtle at?
cantaloupe.
Really?
yeah.
Who doesn't?
Yeah,
Add some
that's
salt
true.
to
That's
it?
What first food I ever ate. That's the first food I ever ate was cantaloupe.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is I add salt to mine. Is that a strange thing for you guys?
No, I
I
mean,
just like douse it in salt. And everybody's like, that's weird.
no, I do, but I was
Yeah.
just thinking of the turtles. You're out there like sprinkling a little salt on it for them. But I was like,
Hey.
but yeah, he had a lot. He had a
We've
bunch
totally derailed here.
of. Oh yeah,
Yeah, we have.
but we had a lot of animals out there, and when we went to do the interview, and he brought a lot of his little pets with him, and just to scare Greg
I
Bowe,
love
I
how
think.
he brought a lot of his little pets with him.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you
Little big
picture
pets.
somebody like coming to the park with a bunch of poodles or something. I mean, he's getting out with what, an alligator,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Had an alligator.
reptiles and all this
alligator,
stuff,
some
you
kind of
know, like-
lizard.
Yeah, like, hey guys, I'm here for the
Yeah.
party.
I mean,
Got a reptile and a
oh, it's
snake
wild,
and a-
yeah.
Yeah, turtle.
But one of the things I love about Eric is he has such a passion, and he's such
Right?
a great guy, and he doesn't.
He's doing
just,
a great thing.
Well, he doesn't
really is.
just have a passion for the animals. He also has a passion for educating people about animals.
Right.
And he has a lot of patience too, asking him questions and
Because I'm sure he gets the same questions
same
over and over
question
again.
over and over again.
But they
Yeah.
know all about those animals. I
Right.
mean,
He's, he's like an encyclopedia for these things.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, he even gets into the cryptids, man. Like
Yeah.
Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and all
Oh,
that
I
stuff.
know.
I mean, he can sit there and talk about all that stuff all day long.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. That's why he fits right in with us.
Because, well, yeah, true. And then during the, right after the interview, we were talking about it. I don't know if we talked about it during the interview or not, but, we were talking about it afterwards about having something in the future where he actually talks about some of the cryptids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
But I guess we'll just hear from the man himself.
Take it away, Eric.
Hey, how's it going?
Awesome, man. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. I know you're in the middle of a photo shoot up here for some publicity shots for a TV series, an online TV series called Dusk. And we figured we could come up here and kind of hijack your time like
Hey,
pirates.
yeah, all time like that is good. Yeah.
It's great. But, we love, we've known you for a while now, and we get to see you at cons and chill out and have some fun. So we wanted you to be one of our first on Lost in the Funhouse.
Awesome. And, talking about having fun and everything, I brought you a little special gift today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Uh,
She's about 13 feet.
Oh, no. That's not happening. Hashtag never.
How about this? And, we'll do a poll, and all your listeners can vote on it, and be hashtag fundraiser for nonprofit. Greg Bowe holds a snake. Holds a snake.
Oh, no.
Completely.
For charity.
Completely. Okay. Yeah. You hit me on the charity thing, but completely not related. Currently, I am seeking someone who looks exactly like me that could do some stunt double work.
There you go.
Completely unrelated.
Nobody will ever know.
Only my Undertaker can tell the difference. So, go ahead.
Eric, we wanted to know, could you tell us just a little bit about Eastern Exotics and
Yes.
what you do?
So, Eastern Exotics Wildlife Foundation is a nonprofit charity that we started just over 2 years ago. And our whole thing is, our motto is changing the world one day at a time.
Sweet.
And we rescue everything except your domestic cats and dogs.
Okay.
So, anything else out of the gambit, from snakes, spiders, scorpions, fish, turtles, tortoises, crocodiles, different lizards, birds, anything else. We've rescued horses from Hurricane Florence,
Yes.
to livestock, like a bunch of pigs. We rescued 50 pigs during the hurricane that got washed away.
It's amazing.
So we do everything except your domestic cat and dog, because domestic cats and dogs, there's tons of rescue groups.
Yeah.
And we didn't think about it until we got into it, of how much of a need there was for exotic rescues, as we put it. And we've just been overwhelmed. We've probably taken in 2 years, a little over 600 different animals.
Wow.
And if we can adopt them out, we adopt them out. If it's native wildlife, we can re-release it to the area. And if it doesn't fit in either of those categories, we give it a forever home on our own. So
That's too cool.
So when you say rescue the animals, what would be conditions where you would say
So-
rescue?
the majority of the stuff that comes in, it's fits into a couple categories. Either we'll get court orders, somebody has something they're not supposed to have.
Okay.
Because every county is a little bit different, and of course North Carolina has to have 100 counties. It's crazy. So the laws can vary from county to county. The second aspect is animal control. We work closely with a bunch of different animal controls, and you might have abuse cases or something being mistreated. And then the other two parts of that is we live close by to a lot of military bases, and the young Marines like to have stuff that they're not supposed to in the barracks. So when we get calls from commands, we actually got a Goliath bird-eating spider out of the barracks of somebody's footlocker.
Oh my goodness.
And then after those three are exhausted, the other one is somebody's getting ready to move and they can't take something with them, and they'll call us up, or kind of like Ka today, our big snake.
Right.
She came from up in Norfolk, Virginia. A gentleman had her up there and ended up losing his legs and couldn't take care of her anymore, so he called us up. We went to Norfolk.
Totally not related to the snake. Then.
Nope. No.
Yeah, because I'm sitting over here, sweating bullets.
So there's many different aspects of how we come across some of these animals and what takes place and transpires. But all in all, it's just they need a better environment, and we try to give what we can.
And I've got to say, Ka is a beautiful snake. If you're into that kind of thing, I mean, even me, somebody who is not a fan of the creepy crawly critters, the snakes anyways, everything else you carry is fine with me.
Well, she's only a baby though, so she's
only a baby?
She's 5 years old, 13 feet.
Goodness.
She's a lavender albino reticulated python. Full grown, she could be anywhere between 27 and 31 feet and about 260 pounds.
Oh.
Or she's only at about 80 right now, so.
Well, even me, somebody
is just a baby.
She likes to cuddle and snuggle and hug. She gives great hugs.
I bet.
Yeah, I'm sure. They're really tight, caressing hugs. I'm
He's
sure.
got some little teeny tiny ones over there
Well,
too.
here's the thing about the love of this snake. Okay, so not Ka, but when we had Julius with us before he had passed,
Right.
we were at an event, and it was in Swansboro. It was the Swansboro pirate invasion. And Julius is posing for a photo, and this gentleman's sitting there, and he's wearing shorts.
Right.
And Julius wrapped his tail around the guy's leg. Well, the guy was, for lack of better words, was freeballing it.
Oh.
And Julius's tail went up under his shorts and wrapped around his stuff.
No.
And the guy, he's like got a little like freaked out in it or whatnot. But I think the weirdest part about it and the funniest part about it was you seeing our staff trying to pull the tail out from under the thing. And so we're tugging. The guy's like, and I can't help but laugh. I'm a realist. I'm going to laugh if it's funny.
Well, sure, yeah.
I'll make
As
sure
one
you're
would
all
do.
right. But, every time, one of our volunteers, she's pulling the snake's tail, and the guy's like, hips are moving, and he's just like, oh. And it's stuff like that can happen. But, the snake is just being friendly, giving some love.
That's got to take the cake on like one of our con stories because that's a story.
Well, yeah, because you got that, and then we have fun. Anybody that's met our staff, volunteers and directors, will tell you right off the bat, I'm very passionate about us providing great customer service.
Yes.
Very respectful to other con goers, to other vendors, and educating people. But at the same time, what a lot of people don't see is we like to pull jokes on each other, and we like to cut up. And then if we think the crowd's right, we will play jokes on certain customers. We can't do it with all because some people take offense to it, but we try to weigh it out. But we have a remote control spider, a remote control centipede, and a remote control snake.
Oh, no.
And every now and then they're with us, and we'll have them under the tables, and somebody will go by, and if we think they have a good enough sense of humor, something will come out from under the table, and you get some good screams and stuff, and you can tell, and other people around us laugh. And now from that though, it's funny because there's certain vendors out there, they see us on the docket as a vendor or a guest,
Yeah.
and the person putting on that convention sent us an email and said, "Yep, yeah, we have somebody said they need to be completely on the other side of the room from you."
Oh, sure.
And it's
Greg Bo.
and you know I love you.
I know.
I mean, you know, because we'll sit there and we'll cut up. And I do have to say, I mean, what he was saying about him and his staff being so respectful of people at cons that have like a certain phobia, he has always been nothing but respectful with me and my fear of snakes. But he'll rib me because we're good enough friends where he can do that. He'll rib me about it, but he also educates me about them. And his passion for animals comes through. One of the things I love is going through when I'm sitting there on Instagram, and I'll see a lot of the stuff you post on Instagram, like facts and stuff and pictures of the various animals and wildlife. And I don't think I've gotten to tell you this before, but I always look forward to seeing those because I always learn something new or see some kind of cool photo, and it kind of brightens my day. So.
That brightens my day because I'm all about educating people when it comes to the animals and the environment. I'm not like far left wing, like PETA type stuff, crazy about it. Yeah. But I'm very passionate about it at the same time.
Right.
And I thought about being a teacher for the longest time. But I decided I wouldn't be able to survive 5 days a week with kids at that level. So I was like, this way I get little small doses of it, and I can still teach people, but I get to work with animals. And if I can't list a con or event that we've done over the last 2 years where somebody hasn't walked away who was terrified of an animal, and then by the end of that day they were holding that animal.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I have always at least have one or two that happens. I'm still working on you, and we'll get there. It's just taking a little bit longer, but, we'll get there.
Well, right after there's peace in the Middle East,
Well, miracles happen.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, we're talking about, giving you a hard time and ripping on you. I think one of the first times that we had ever, did an event with each other.
Right.
You went home and you're in your office, and there was a comment made about I was missing something.
Yeah.
And we thought maybe it got loose and got in one of your boxes because it was the last place you saw was by your table.
Oh yeah.
But that was the funny,
wow.
a funny story. I think it was one of the first times that we ever saw you at one of those conventions, and I think you, Greg Bo, had stepped away from the table, went walking around or something, and I got you to come over and put the snake on top of his table, and it was crawling around on his art, and I took a picture and sent it to him, and I was like, you've got a fan waiting on you at your table.
Oh yeah. And I'm like, there goes my career. I'm never coming back. Just take my stuff.
Yeah, it's funny, but like I said, there's some vendors that won't even go near me. Like, they don't want anything to do, and I'm trying to slowly warm up to them, but it happens, and I respect everybody's viewpoint. I'm not the type that's gonna run up and throw something on you. Go, take it. 'Cause, one, my animal is probably gonna end up dead.
Well, for any of those vendors or retailers that are listening, listen, I can go ahead and tell you, I am paranoid. I mean, just paralyzing fear of snakes, and I would have no problem. I mean, there's you guys are not only so respectful, but you keep track of the animals. You can tell you love the animals. You know where the animal is at all times. So trust me, guys, if there's any kind of worry about it, you cannot be as scared of the animal that you are scared of as I am of snakes, and I completely trust him. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, you don't want your animals getting hurt.
No,
I mean,
absolutely,
that's just
No, and I tell people I have good insurance, but I'm not trying to use it. So we carry good insurance just because you never, animals are animals. Kids ask me, oh, does it bite? Well, I was like, do you have a cat? Yeah. Well, cats bite. Yeah, and that's where it comes down to. It's but we carry a $2 million insurance policy.
Yeah.
And then we even offer to these places that book us, we carry an additional insurance. So the AI insurance, and we offer them another additional $2 million. So we're basically carrying $4 million worth of insurance to provide that.
That's interesting.
Confidence vote of, hey, we're responsible. We're not going to let anything happen to your guest, your vendors, or tarnish your name, because we're not going to tarnish our name.
Well, the con goers, I mean, every con, there's never been a con I've been at that we've done together. and that you've been at that I have not seen you guys just covered up.
Yeah.
The fans love coming in there
Oh,
and
yeah.
seeing the animals.
Yeah,
Another thing, and this is something I particularly wanted to mention, because when you're at a con, a lot of the stuff you're doing, the funds raised goes back to help take care of these animals, correct?
Yeah, 100% of everything we do. So
Wow.
when we travel to the different cons, that cost, like the gas money and the food and stuff like that, comes out of all the directors' pockets. We don't pull out of our funds for that. When we get to the cons, a lot of times we negotiate where we don't pay a vendor fee as a nonprofit, and but we also don't charge them an appearance fee.
Yeah.
Right.
But we guarantee them that your con goers are going to have a great time. The fans, we have a following of people that do follow and come out to places for us.
They do.
They
I've
know
seen
that
it.
we're there. And I haven't gone to, at least on the Comic-Con side, I haven't been to a Comic-Con that once those doors open, we don't have a line deep of people.
Yeah.
And then everything on our tables that we sell, 100% of that's already been paid for. So 100% of that goes right back to the nonprofit for the animals to take care of food, vet bills, enclosures, anything for those animals. All that money goes right back. Any donations we bring in, 100% goes right back. And then from there, everything else that we do on the side, little events, and we do fundraisers, literally 100% of that money goes back. It's not used for anything else.
Right.
And then since we started, we all chipped in our own money, and then even that nobody ever paid themselves back. So then
Wow.
we stayed up in the positive, and then since then, like the rocks and the jewelry that we make and we sell, we buy from the nonprofit's funds now to fund the nonprofit. So we're self-sustained.
Okay.
And a little over 2 years in, and we're in the green for a nonprofit, which is huge.
That's really huge.
And but that's, like I said, that's vet bills. And for people who don't know, you think a dog's vet bill is something. Well, you take a macaw and one of our big birds,
Yeah.
and that right off there, you're hitting 600 minimum. And
Wow.
that's if nothing is wrong. So if something's wrong, you're starting to double that, because there's very few exotic vets.
Yeah.
I would think so. That would be kind of rare.
Yeah, it's like the closest vet that we can go to is 2 hours away.
Wow.
And that doesn't even see all of our animals. Then after that, we're looking at 3.5, 4 hour drive and money.
Well,
Yeah.
and I love the fact with you guys being there at the cons, and one thing I've seen firsthand is everybody who goes to a con, all the fans, once you go in there and, you go around, you see this artist, that artist, this celebrity, there's a lot of times it's just walking around, there's not a lot of stuff to do. And you guys bring so much extra value. Not only is it really good to help the animals, but also you guys bring a lot of value to the cons, because people just line up. There is always a huge crowd and a huge line around you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do. I love to entertain. Mm-hmm. And
You are entertaining.
anybody that works with us,
Yes.
they're put through, anybody can volunteer, I say, but
Yeah.
if you volunteer with us, there's a mold that you have to fit, and if you're not fitting that mold off the bat, I will mold you to that.
Yeah.
I've had people who are completely shy who now they're so outgoing, and they're just like, yeah, and they get it, and they get that value
Right.
back from it. They get that happiness. I've got a current volunteer, Abby, with us. She is a Carolina Crown princess wearer. We have beauty pageant queens that
Wow.
entertain people, and we've had a couple of those. We had Miss Capital City used to do stuff with us, and we'd go and do events with her. We've got 2 race cars down in
cool.
East Carolina over at Carteret County Speedway. That's
incredible.
We have the Mini Cup race car driver. She's out there. She's 13.
Oh, wow.
And driving stock mini cars, and then
Overachiever.
Yeah. Okay. And she's a kickboxer too, so it's like
Awesome. Talking
they're
my
doing
language.
stuff
Yeah.
with us, and then our name's on their cars now.
Yeah.
And then we have, we have a wide variety of outlets. We're doing the stuff with Dusk, where we brought in animals and added a different touch and flair to the Dusk series.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tell people I don't discriminate against money. It's like, people come up and they're like, oh, I don't have any cash. And I was like, well, we take cash, card, Bitcoin, firstborn, hard labor. I said, I don't discriminate. Money's money. So, but it's the truth. And it's the same thing where people are like, well, why do you do this event or this event or, you'll do photo shoot? And I was like, because it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's the money that comes in for the animals. That's the bottom line for us is the animals. So, but we try to entertain everybody in the end. Even in our lectures, I take a casual approach to lectures. I sit on a table and I tell people right off the bat, this lecture is not going to be like anything you've seen. It's literally, I might talk 10 minutes. After that, it's open floor questions. Yeah. And I answer what you want to know. Yeah. And let them ask. And that's the rest of the hour that's left is I'm answering what they are there to know, not what I want to tell them. Yeah. And then we have fun with it. And,
Have you ever got any like really, really weird questions?
So the weirdest probably question I had was, and this guy was very persistent about, it's not even a question. I guess it's more of a statement. It was he wanted to argue with me about what type of lizard Java was, and he was like, "No, that's a Komodo dragon," and I'm like, "No, it's an Argentine black and white tegu." Yeah, big difference. Like talking 6-7 foot difference. And he's like, "No, that's a Komodo dragon. You can tell by this." And I'm like, and this is during the middle of a lecture, and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to keep my cool and be polite and calm. And so I ended up kind of switching it around where I had Sobek, our crocodile, with me. Right. And I brought him out and, everybody already knew the docket of what was there. So I was like, okay. And this is Sobek. He's an American alligator. And the guy looked at me and he was just like, that's a crocodile. And I was like, no, it's an American alligator. And he was like, no. And like the crowd saw what I was doing. And I was like, okay. Well, I was like, if this is a crocodile, then that's a tegu. And he didn't know what to say. Yeah. Because he was so persistent that, that's Komodo dragon. And so then we turn around and I was like, it's a matter of perspective, isn't it? And he's like, no, it's facts. I was like, exactly. And I wasn't rude about it or anything. And I had, and see, this is where I get in trouble sometimes. I had this little pack of gold stars, and I took one of the gold stars out and I put it on his chest. See, a man after my own heart. I was like, here you go. I was like, you got the gold star. I was like, okay, so this is Sobek. He's a Morlet's crocodile. I was like, and Java is an Argentine black and white tegu. And then I went into about the intelligence of the different animals and what they were. And but he dropped it after that. And afterwards he came up to me and he was just like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, I looked it up and you're right. I was like, oh my, I was like, they're my animals. I take care of them. I'm like, not trying to be facetious or anything. I was like, or arrogant, but I was like, dude, I'm not going to come in here saying lecture time, this is this, and not know what I'm talking about. And it's just, to me, that was the weirdest scenario because, people like to argue.
Well, it's always funny. And
but it was good humor in the end, too.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it. And we've got now where we're doing the show where we'll actually write them down, on occasions. Every once in a while, we'll just get the weirdest questions asked of us. So I had to ask.
Well, that and everything's an iguana.
Oh, an iguana.
Every lizard in the world is an iguana. It's just that or they're Komodo dragons. It's literally, nobody knows anything else, it seems. It's like, no, it's just they're all iguanas and, Komodo dragons out there. So
well, see, I take your word for it because I know what you know. I know your background, and I'm not going to argue with you about that. It's like I said, when I'll see your Instagram, and I'll be going through, I'll be like, ooh, an iguana, and then right under it, I read it, and it says, it's a holomushma, and I'm like, okay, it's a holomushma. I don't go argue and go, well, Eric, that's an iguana.
Yeah. So. Then it'll be like somebody coming up to you and I say, no, you colored this with marker. No, it's colored pencils. No.
Well, no, it's the question I always get, and this is where we had led to when we were talking about, the questions and stuff. The one I oftentimes get is somebody will walk up to me and they'll either ask me one or two questions. And I know it's just an icebreaker usually, and that's fine. It doesn't annoy me, but we just find it funny. They'll come up and say, did you draw these? And I'm like, I try to come up with a goofy answer, like, nah, I'm just, or I'll point to her.
I'm a tracer.
Or, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Oh, perfect. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Knuckles on that one. That was good. And then they'll also ask me, like, do you work for anybody? And I'll be like, what? Well, are you just drawing these, or have you ever worked? I mean, basically, kind of, they're trying to gauge my importance in their mind, and I'm just like, So then I'll start rattling off, and they'll go, oh, okay, and then they'll just kind of meander on off. But so I mean, that's just too cool, though. I mean, all the stuff that you do, and going back to the rescues and stuff. I mean, we were talking about. I mean, I'm sure you've got, a story or two about, during the hurricane and like some of the harsh weather events and stuff like that. Rescuing animals.
Because we're out of Jacksonville, North Carolina, so we're right on the coast, and we got hit hard. We lost power for 10 days, and we're completely surrounded by water. We couldn't get in or out of Onslow County.
I remember seeing the pictures you were posting.
Yeah, and my team, we basically said, okay, we have these animals, and we're not evacuating. We're staying here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we went through like the neighborhood and checked on people's houses that couldn't get back.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did 103 house checks through Facebook. People would say, hey, this is our address over where in the area that we lived in. And it's funny because it took a natural disaster to really open the eyes of our community to what we did. Because during Florence in that time, just our Facebook likes went up by 380 likes.
Amazing.
In 10 days.
Wow.
And now it's a staple where, like, we have people in the neighborhood just stopping off at the house saying, hey, can you help this animal? Or, hey, do this. Where the longest time is everybody outside of our area was all about us, but I couldn't get the city that we lived in or the neighborhoods that we lived in and did this stuff for behind us.
Yeah.
And Florence, we between baby squirrels coming in, we got a hold of we worked with the Cajun Navy and helped coordinate 2 horse rescues that were over in Chickapin, North Carolina. There was a place, Howard's Farms. They had a bunch of pigs that got washed off, and we ended up actually doing something really neat with that. We helped coordinate the removal of the pigs, but instead of them getting slaughtered, we got a hold of a vegan group that ended up taking them into a vegan farm so that these pigs, since they weren't going to be able to use for, slaughter anymore, because they're in their own feces and stuff, they're actually living their life out on a farm.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it was like a win-win. Okay, the farm's not going to catch backlash or waste, and these pigs get to live, and everybody was happy in the end. But we rescued bearded dragons, like people's reptiles, birds, snakes, that were left in the house.
Wow.
We literally, I think it was a little over 80 animals we rescued. So we did a special edition shirt, and on the back of the shirt, it's just the blue shirts we wear at events. Have all the animals listed. Yeah, and
I've got the green. Yeah.
Yeah, that green one's a rare shirt too.
As a matter of fact, if you go back and you look, if I'm not mistaken, when we went to Memphis and went into Graceland for our first time, when we got to Memphis, we got out and you took my picture in front of the gates to Graceland, and I'm wearing that shirt.
See? Yeah, we've come out with 2 shirts total, and now we're getting ready to release a new line. So you know how people talk about rhinestone cowboys?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's a rhino cowboy.
Oh.
And so
I see that.
So we're gonna have that on a shirt.
Yeah.
And that's one of our things. We're doing a shirt with a logo on the front, and on the back it's gonna have a fox, and it's gonna say 0 fox given.
I like that. Yeah.
And then we want to do 2 more shirts. We want to come up with some really neat design for, and we're gonna release them in 2020. And have a whole brand new line of shirts, and that's going to be each year we're going to try to release 4 shirts. 2 of them are going to be generalized, public will always get them, and then 2 of them are going to be special editions, like you either get them now or you don't type deal. And that's what we want to try to do, and each year have 2 brand new style shirts that are just strictly limited editions. And so over the years you'll either have it or you don't, but it'll help keep things fresh and new ideas and venture new designs, and it's a great money maker to help the animals in the end, so we always get a kick out of it.
Yeah, that's just too cool.
So if somebody wanted to donate,
get us that information.
Where could they get in touch with
So we're all over the place when it comes to social media. I am a social media, I don't know what the proper word would be.
Well, you use it very effectively.
That's all I use it for. So first off, easternexotics.org is
Right.
our main website. After that, if you type in Eastern Exotics, it'll pop up Eastern Exotics Wildlife Foundation. Instagram, you type in Eastern Exotics, it'll pop up as well. Twitter, Eastern Exotics. We even have a Tumblr account. So we're on Eastern. It's just
You're not everywhere.
Anything that's you can type Eastern Exotics in, it pops up.
But are you on AOL?
Yeah. NC Freedom, I think is what they call it in Jacksonville. So, we're all over the place, and the cool thing about it, it's all organic growth.
Yeah.
Everything, all our followers, I think we just hit 3,700 on Instagram, and we're approaching
great.
3,600, 3,700 on Facebook. We've never paid for advertising. We
That's awesome.
started grassroots style, and we still go that way. So everything's organic, and it spreads through people's adventures, people's fears, people's hatred. I actually had PETA threaten us.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and this is a con story, so you guys actually will get a kick out of this. This was 3 weeks ago. It was the Greenville, North Carolina Comic-Con.
Okay, yeah.
Third
yeah.
annual Comic-Con. And we had a snake that was donated from a designer breeder, and we were going to do a raffle for him.
Right.
And that way, anybody who could prove first, they had to prove in order to enter the raffle that they can take care of the snake.
Sure.
And it's a high dollar snake. Well, word got out, and next thing you know, the convention center there in Greenville, North Carolina is getting phone calls from PETA.
Oh,
And they're like,
no.
and the convention center's like, look, you need to talk to the event director because we have nothing to do with that. We just rent the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then the director calls me because she's like, look, PETA's calling us and they want, they're talking about you can't come here and, their higher ups are coming in and they want us to pull you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you can tell PETA what they can do. And she's like, oh, what do you want me to do? I was like, you can tell them to call me. I was like,
Yeah.
I will stand my ground. I was
Good
like,
for you.
it's not a matter
Good for
of
you.
being bullied. I was like, I'll back everything I do.
Yeah.
And I'm very transparent, and I'll tell anybody has a question, let them come to me. Nobody that doesn't know our workings doesn't need to answer those questions for me.
Right.
And she's like, okay. And about 30 minutes later, I get a call from, I guess, up in Wisconsin, and it's one of the bigger chapters of PETA.
Of
because
course.
it's gone up the line. And I had a 2.5 hour phone call with them, and I explained to them my background, our mission, and everything we're doing, and my viewpoint of why I was going to do this.
Right.
And they turned around, they came back with some stuff that they wanted to say, and they also informed me that they've been following me. And I was like, oh, well, I'm on your radar. I was like,
Oh, great.
But then they twisted up, and they're like, what? You guys are doing really good work. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, as I know that. And in the end, it really worked out better because I came up to a compromise with him. I was like, look, you donate to us.
Yeah.
I won't do the raffle. And that was what we agreed on.
That works.
And I didn't do the raffle. They didn't petition because they were going to have a picket line and petition out at the con. And to me, a con is for a family event. I don't need
Yeah.
kids seeing that stuff happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no against, I have friends that are part of PETA, but then you also have, just like with any organization, you have an extreme.
Yeah.
And I
There
don't need
is,
the
yeah.
extremist traumatizing some kid
No.
at a family event. So in my eyes, it was best to let a family event be a family event. You want to bring the war to me, come to my house. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then that was a Saturday. Let's see, that Tuesday, opened my mailbox. I had a letter. And I opened up the letter, and it was like, Dear Mr. Dionne, thank you for not holding the raffle and this and that. We really admire what you're doing and admired talking to you and seeing your standpoints, and we have a lot of respect for what you're doing. Here's a donation on behalf of us
Wow.
for what you did. And it was $250 donation.
Cool.
Awesome.
And so to me, it reinforces that no matter how negative something can be, if people want to talk,
Yeah.
you can always come up to a compromise, and it doesn't have to end in nasty word slinging or like fights and stuff like that. There's always a solution, but transparency is always huge. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's great, especially in today's environment. I mean, that's
tough.
good words. Yeah.
it's tough because I've been called some names.
Oh yeah. I have too, my friend. Believe me, I have too.
They ever call you an ink slinger?
No, they haven't called me an ink slinger. That's new.
That's a new one.
That's a new one.
That's new.
That's a good one though. You know?
It is
Make sure you're
good.
an
Yeah,
ink
I mean,
slinger, you know?
I like that. I'll be saying ink slinger.
It's better than a tracer, right?
I was accused of being Satan once.
Really?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Real quick, just and we'll have to tell this story because we hadn't told this story. We won't today. I'll tell you, but basically shut down the internet one weekend because I had done some pinup illustrations for a real good friend of mine down in Florence, South Carolina, and somebody who is was driving by and saw them in the window. He had them up, blown up. He said, "Can you mind if I put them up in the window?" So he blew them up, and I didn't know how big they were going to be, but they were huge. So he blew them up in the window, and there's nothing wrong with them. But pinups, just like anything else. I mean, just like snakes or anything else. I mean, pinups aren't everybody's cup of tea. But so anyway, it got out there. People posted pictures, and they literally for a weekend were like, I snuck up there in the middle of the night and hung these up without the owner's notice or whatever to corrupt the innocent minds of the youth. Or I don't know. It was crazy. So I understand. I feel your pain.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
But we really appreciate you coming
Most
on our
definitely.
podcast and talking about your organization, and we're hoping to see you at some future cons.
Very much so. I hope I get to, and like my schedule is so crazy sometimes. I've got Soundwave Comic-Con in Charleston that I'll
Love
be at.
that con.
I love
that
well,
con.
funny thing, Brooke, that one of the ladies that puts it on, me and her went to high school together.
Really?
Talk about small world.
Yes.
Yeah, like we literally went to high school together and we're friends in high school, and then come to find out, here we reconnect back down the road, and she's putting on cons and I'm
Wow.
exotics, and great people. Love her to death. So we got that. I have Ink and Arms, which is one of the nation's biggest tattoo and gun conventions.
Ooh, I bet that'd be
So
cool.
it's like, and this one that we're going to, because we just did the Wilmington one, but we'll be at the Greensboro, North Carolina one in September. I think it's like 19th, 20th, 21st.
Yeah.
And it's literally, you have people like from Ink Masters.
Wow.
There's like, and they're tattooing during this convention, so you can get booked, and there's contests, and then you have gun sales and knives. It's and they have contests.
And that's a definite art, man. I mean,
that's insane stuff.
I love looking at that stuff, and I have a lot of the tattooists come up to me a lot, and they're fans of mine, and I'll tell them all the time. I'm like, well, I really appreciate that. I said, but I'm gonna tell you, I can do all that stuff on paper. I said, I can't even begin to think about doing that on somebody's flesh. I mean, because it's just something that everybody works in their own medium, and so I'm big fans of theirs and what they do.
Yeah, it's insane what they do. And then I think we're doing the Ocracoke Island pirate invasion. Because every year when we do our pirate stuff, we transform from Eastern Exotics Wildlife Foundation to Eastern Exotics Trading Company.
Right.
And we actually dress up in authentic, like 1600s pirate attire.
That has to be so fun.
And that's like, we just did the Beaufort pirate invasion, and I get out there Friday, no shoes, all this attire, and we live like pirates. We camp out under like our booth set up out there, but it's all canvas tenting and like coconut husk roping and crates, and we have the animals out there with us. And then when the sun goes down, we're sleeping on the ground out there. And we do that through Sunday.
Way to commit.
That's
But it's fun.
There.
We work really closely with a group called the Cannon Crew, and they do black powder demonstrations.
Wow.
That would be
which
so
is leading
fun.
to like next year we're opening up a sub company, or I'm building a forge, and we're going to open up the Iron Monkey Glass Raven Forge, and we're going to specialize in nothing but like iron, like swords and daggers, but done with animals, and then our gemstones we sell embedding in them. And I have a gentleman who's one of the last colonial style glass blowers in the world, lives in Emporio, Virginia, and he's going to apprentice me as a glass blower
Wow.
on top of that. So I'm going to take the iron work and the glass work and do a combination of it. And then it's going to be another aspect, but it's going to be more of a business side. But 15% of all our sales will go right back to the foundation as well. So we're going to tie it back in.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not a nonprofit. I'm trying to get out of actual work and do something that I enjoy.
I hear you.
You know, so a lot of exciting things, and we got.
Well,
a lot
everybody says I lead an interesting life. It's because I have interesting friends, like really interesting friends.
Well, you know what makes it even better
What's that?
is you can make it like just blow their mind, and then for Christmas you get a snake.
Yeah. They would commit
Great
me because they
boost.
know I've gone over the deep end.
Yeah, great.
Well, that's when you get one of
Christmas
those.
list.
You'll get one of those packages, and when you open up the top, it's spring loaded, and it's a rubber snake that jumps out.
Yeah, and then y'all go ahead and pick out your black outfits because I would have a stroke or a heart attack on the spot. I mean, it would just be.
Have you ever watched those videos though? Where
Yes,
they have,
I
like
have.
the guy comes with the paper or the clothespin and the fishing line, and on the end of the fishing line there's a rubber snake.
Oh,
and
yes.
they clip it on him, and they go, "Oh, look, snake!" And the guy runs, and they
And it's chasing him.
him.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the funniest pranks I've ever seen.
And you remember that one that was going around for a while, and people would send it an email. It's a little short video, and it would say something like a dead snake found or something, largest dead snake found.
Yeah.
And you're watching it, and it shows the tail, and it
And
keeps
they're going
going,
up,
it keeps
yeah.
going, it keeps going. Then all of a sudden you get the front, and it's like, like that, coming out at you and striking. And I had nightmares for months over that one. that was.
It's always good times though.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me laugh.
Well, brother, we enjoyed having you on here, and we hope you'll come back and do it again. And especially, as things develop and as you have things in the works, anything you want to announce, because even with the snakes, I have to suck it up and say we're fans of the animals and what you're doing, and we think that's great, and we want to help get the word out any way we can.
Well, I'm very grateful to be allowed to come on your guys' podcast.
Oh, are
and
you
stuff,
kidding? We love it.
I think it's awesome stuff, and hopefully down the road I'll be able to come back on again, and then hopefully
Absolutely,
we'll get
anytime.
some video down the road of you holding
yeah.
something.
Something other than a snake,
Because
maybe.
I am going to be releasing. I can't promise that it's this year,
Yeah.
but I'm working on a video series, and it's going to tie into Twitch to do live streaming.
Yeah.
But it's called Trailer Park Tarzan and His Picnic Table Pet Shop.
Oh,
And
I love the
So
name.
it's going to be a comedy education event. So if you
Yeah.
took like all the good education stuff of like Nat Geo and then mixed it in with really good humor and comedy and just tied it all in, but then basically it's going to be us turning around and doing interviews with people at the cons and doing
cool.
like the guests, the vendors, the superstars that come in and asking their views on wildlife and environment.
Oh.
And then adding our take on it, and adding a little bit of that Impractical Joker style stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
Love
it's going to be a work of process, and we're starting the building blocks. I can say that, hey, we got a working title. The title's done.
Yeah.
Now we're just going to start piecing it together, and do something like that, and just say, here you go, world. If you like it, you like it. If
Awesome.
not, go kick rocks.
Go kick rocks.
So it doesn't matter because I like it.
Okay.
So
Well, this was great, and thank you so much for being on the podcast, and hopefully we will see you soon.
sounds good.
Great.
All right, brother.
Thanks.
Later.
Later.
That was a great interview.
Did you guys have fun with that?
Yeah, we did.
Again, I wasn't able to be at that one as well.
Yeah, you're always absentee.
I'm a studio rat.
He's a studio. When we have
I'm
to
just a
get
studio rat. Like
He is.
I'm most comfortable here in this haunted space.
Well, see, I am too, but she drags me places.
Yeah, we have to go.
But
and,
we have adventures and we have
Yeah.
well,
and it
sometimes to
was.
get these interviews, we have to go and kidnap the people.
Outside the comfort zone,
know.
a little bit for them. With all the torturing and stuff for the interview. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get a white van if we're gonna have to keep going and kidnapping these people.
Yeah, I know. Well, he
yeah,
was-
the
he
white
was-
van thing.
Well, he was on set. He
You
was
guys
on
want
set.
some speakers? Man, I got some speakers that I tried to. The buyer didn't want them, so I'll give them to you for a real good price. Actually, have to be in a Walmart parking lot. I'm not joking.
That's creepy.
Yeah, like this was
I remember
years
you
ago. I'm
telling
like
me about that. Yeah,
when I was like 25.
yeah.
I'm just strolling up to Walmart, and this guy like zips up in a white van. I'm like, this isn't awesome. Hey, man, you want some speakers? And I'm like, nah, man, I got a car full of speakers.
I don't trust the white vans.
Listen,
Are they free speakers?
Hey, check us out. So we go to these cons.
Yeah.
And when we go to the cons, a lot of the people, like vendors or whatever, they have these these old white vans, nondescript, where they
Right.
just throw their comics
To
in
hold
and
all
drive
their
at the
stuff.
shows, right? So
They're a dime a dozen,
the
those
parking
white
lots
vans,
are filled with those white vans.
Right.
So Blondie, when we go to after we
I've
put
heard about
everything in,
this. I
I
know where this
don't
is
like
she
the
going.
will
white vans.
strategically
I know.
figure out where to park because she does not want to park next to a white van.
I know.
And I just look at her when she pulls in and she finally gets into a place. She's all happy with herself that she's nowhere near a white van. And I look at her and I say, really, do you really think something's going to happen? Somebody's going to pull you into a white van with me standing there?
You never know. I mean,
I know.
it's
Between
just
you and me and the rest of the internet, I understand.
it's just a good it's a good habit.
I'm 90 pounds soaking wet, okay?
Well, yeah. When I pull up in a parking lot somewhere, it's
I'm an
just
easy
habit.
target.
I don't want to park beside a white van.
Meanwhile,
So-
me and Brett are like we see a white van, we're like, please let somebody jump out. Please let somebody jump out.
Try it. Give me a reason to give you a handicap.
That's so bad. That's so bad, but it's so true.
I mean, if someone's coming at you, you are well within your right to defend yourself.
Oh, yeah, absoluttle. And we absolutely would.
Yeah. Oh, I know you would. I knew you would.
And it would not be pretty, but
Oh, I'd like to see them afterwards.
But hey guys, I think speaking of white vans,
yeah.
I think we've got a word from one of our sponsors.
Do you suffer from ghost white pale complexion? Well, your worries are over thanks to Nerds, the national establishment for real diseases. They have carefully removed the extract from poison ivy and added it to a cream. That's right, just add a little bit of this cream to your face and watch the color begin. There is a consumer's warning, though, may cause itchiness and irritation. Nerds, changing the way we live.
Well, guys, I think that's about it. Just don't forget to send us your stories, your creepy stories. Halloween's
do you
coming
have
up.
any creepy stories?
I mean, we want to hear.
Yes, we want to hear those.
I want to hear those.
You
So-
might make our Halloween spectacular.
Oh
Right,
yeah, we're
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
telling all the stories during October. And so send those to getlostinthefunhouse@gmail.com. And you can also find us YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, with Funhouse Podcast, and find our podcast anywhere podcasts are found. And with that,
Well, I guess it's time to get lost.
in the Funhouse.